Amanda Seals.
I am a genius.
Give her some time, bro. Let her cook. Let her cook, bro.
It's just, no, but yo, you told me let her cook, but it's like whenever you try to cook and then you put, people walk in the room and they're like, he smells good. What are you cooking? It's just garlic and oil. Calm down. It still smells fire.
Okay, let's go, though. Let's go.
I am a genius. I'm a gifted performer. I am a gifted person. I am a creative genius. I'm generous. I am giving. I am kind.
Bro, she got some lovers. She confident.
Hey, if nobody's gonna love you, who will?
I'm funny. I'm delightful. Like, these are not things that I need to wait for somebody to say about me. I know these things about myself. It is my habit because I've always been labeled as this. You think you know everything. It's not that I think I know everything, but I really did know the answer. And I'm thinking I'm helping the room out by having the answer. But they like,
I think you're a know-it-all.
You're a lot. You're a show-off. You're extra. In my sophomore year of college, I was put in a suite with 7 other women. And the day I got there, my name had been ripped off the door and thrown on the ground. I didn't even know these women.
Goddamn, they hate you from the jump.
So, mind you, she's not even well known right now. She's in college. Let's keep listening.
And 2 weeks in of them not talking to me, I said, listen, I'd like to have a Friday night where I buy a bottle of tequila and we all just sit around and y'all can take shots and tell me why you don't like me. And everybody's reason was, I don't like you because you think you all that. I don't like you because you extra. I don't like you because you a show off. None of that shit is anything having, like, I'm not harming them.
Right.
Like, I'm literally just trying to
But they formed this opinion of you prior to meeting you.
Like, I'm just trying to exist. I'm literally just existing in the world. And it's a fucking problem. And if you're gonna not like me, I would at least like it to be for a legit reason.
Yeah, Shannon, that's why her story don't make no sense. People don't just hate you for no reason. 7 people in your fucking dorm setup hated you from the first day they saw you.
It's not because you discard those reasons that they're not legit.
Yeah.
Basically, they don't like you because you're annoying as fuck. As someone that is too much, someone that is a know-it-all, someone that's that labeled by a lot of people, basically it's because you're annoying. I'm just trying to live, yes, but you living is taking so much space that you don't allow other people to live. Yeah, but it's for them to take their space.
Look, pause. Keisha, you're annoying. It's not because a bunch of people think you're great. No, when you think you're great and nobody else can verify your greatness, Keisha, you're annoying.
See what I mean? You're not gonna live it.
There is the truth, there is my truth. And a lot of times, baby, it's the same. And one of the reasons why you can see that is because when I recount a story, I want you to notice this when I recount stories. I very rarely include my feelings. It's never, I felt that this person did this. I thought that this person did this. It's like reading Game of Thrones. He's going to give you this.
Okay, Keisha's not in her feelings. But if nobody can verify that you're smart, if nobody can verify that you're great, if nobody can verify that you're giving, then you must be in this must just be how you feel. Because if it's all these great things about you, Keisha, there's all these great things about you, Keisha, that you believe in that can't nobody verify, then these are all just manifested thoughts or feelings. Keisha's never in her feelings. But she's all these great things. But there's no verification. Nobody likes you.
I don't want want this to be an easy interview. I'm ready to address whatever.
Well, first of all, are you still on Insecure?
What kind of dumbass question is that?
I'm just asking. That is a dumbass
It's a dumbass question.
I'm just
Next
asking.
question.
Who was the person that did not like
No, we're not doing that. But I feel like
Ask the questions. Don't take it easy on me. That's what you want.
Amanda's the only factual person in the world. When she tells a story, her perspective is the perspective.
that is part of my autism. I speak in directs. I speak in linear spaces. I speak in literals. That's part of the reason why people don't like me neither. So when I was at Disney,
Yes.
and I was in the situation at Disney, I was there as the only black girl.
Okay.
And there was a whole crew. It's like 12 of us. And so I was called an N-word right there while I was there. And I was also bullied while I was there because I was told that you're only here because you're black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're black, so don't get any ideas. I ended up getting kicked out of the conservatory. So one of the guys in my class created a story, and he told the teacher a lie. He told her that I was listening to my headphones in class, which I was not. But she was already a baddie lady anyway. And again, I'm the only black girl in my class, so like you're just a very easy target. She just lost it. I mean, she lost it. She was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe you would be here listening to your headphones.
I mean, had you had any run-ins with this teacher prior to this?
So then she goes on a mission to get me kicked out of the conservatory. All of a sudden, there's no excuse. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. I don't know. But she definitely went the distance, and she got me kicked out.
It had to have hurt to have these black publications.
I had a nervous breakdown. It's just the willingness of folks to sell their souls for so little. And I feel like that's what you have to do to like put your gift of being a writer to work in such a nefarious way. I ain't met none of these people. I ain't done none of these people.
All her friends from college.
You know, it's always somebody trying to hold Keisha back. You know, like everything should just be given to you. Like, it's always been some haters. This shit is nothing new. It's nothing new. Why does it matter? It's nothing new. You know, Keisha want to be independent. She want to have multiple men, be out here caring about her career. Yeah, it's hard going to the top. Why didn't Keisha settle down and get her a husband? Because Keisha wants to be out here, being independent and chasing money like a man. Life isn't fair. Period. So for you to come on here and complain about how life isn't fair and how you, because you're this great individual that no one can verify. I mean, Keisha said everywhere she went, people hated her. I don't understand how I could tell a story about how great I am, but everywhere I go, people hate me. I don't know any people like that. Not unless they're irritating.
She went to academic schooling. Her teacher hated her. One of her other classmates decided to tell a random lie about her. All these things for no reason. Black publications wrote bad things about her. Again, unwarranted. Let's keep listening.
I like to think that they were paid by APAC because if
Sorry, not for nothing. They were paid by Jews.
I think I've gotten in my own way by being more honest than I needed to be in certain situations. This is not conceit or cockiness. This is somebody who has really sat here and looked at this. I think some people don't like me because I'm very light-skinned. I think some people don't like me because I'm a woman with a very strong point of view and an opinion. I think some people don't like me because I may reflect something that they desire.
Listen, the reason why people don't like me is because, I'm wonderful. I'm amazing. And people don't like me for that. People don't like me because I'm a total bitch.
Yeah, because you have to understand, for all you women out there, for all you Keishas that are so wonderfully great and beautiful and fine, you're so great, you're so smart, don't nobody like you, everybody hates on you. How can you say you're so great, but everywhere you go, you're hated? It's some reason somebody doesn't like you. And you're never the problem or the issue, Keisha. You're never the problem, Keisha.
Which stands for babe in total control of herself. That's why they don't like me.
I think some people don't like me for the reasons that they don't like themselves. And I know that there are reasons you don't like me that were handed down to you in some situations.
So let's just pause. They're going through her history of her interviews, publicly speaking, about how she probably doesn't even know she's doing it, but she's telling the world how great she is, and the reason why people don't like her is because how great she is and all these amazing things she can do, and they never seen a woman like this before, so they just don't like it. I know a Keisha like this. I personally know a Keisha like this. Let's roll this beautiful bean footage.
By patriarchy, I mean by racism, I mean by classism, etc. You don't like me because I can talk proper or something. Like if that's a source of ire for you, like I'm like mad that somebody put it in you. I've been bullied for being smart. I don't know how being unabashedly smart has become such a villainous thing. I am fucking Scolder and Mully. I'm a crusader, like I'm the Green Beret. But I have become the patron saint for difficult women. You didn't get a check for this and you just did this just to do it. I'm just like, damn, that's unfortunate for you. I just don't ever feel comfortable with people forming opinions not based on truth. Shin, I got in trouble for saying uninsecure. We need to talk about the incident that you had.
I guess when you're in corporate, you got to keep it corporate, man.
We say nigga on the show. We say nigga all day on this motherfucking show. And it was a black woman who pulled me to the side. And this brother, I was like, damn, you the only revolutionary nigga around here. He was like, I'm not a nigga. And I said, okay, I get it. This was the incident. So she's like, we need to talk about the incident. And I said, well,
What incident?
what incident? Well, when you just referred to him as a nigga.
I'm pretty sure that in Django Unchained, in the movie Django Unchained, Leonardo DiCaprio was not saying that word when they were just chilling. We say it on the movie. No. The movie said it's one thing.
Yeah, just because in your lines it says, don't mean you just be out here in the random trailer be like, hey, bitch.
That in the script I'm saying to a coworker and then cut, yo, bitch, are we going to lunch? It's not gonna work.
So I actually I referred to him as a revolutionary nigga. It was a compliment.
Right.
You're gonna need to apologize to him.
You see, that's one main problem with these Keishas. See, disrespecting a man, it doesn't exist. The man is a revolutionary speaker. I'm not sure who she's talking about, but as you can see clearly, she's calling the man a revolutionary nigga, which clearly contradicts the revolution. But you think Keisha can be forgiving, be understanding, be in her feminine? Nah. She's saying the disrespect that she told, the man cleared it up and said, I'm not a nigga. But no, she's still saying that was a compliment for her because you know what? Clearly, Keisha is still working for the slave master. Because she's a master herself. She's going to tell that man who he is when he corrected her and told her he's not a nigga, but she's still claiming that was a compliment. A revolutionary nigga is a compliment. That's a lot of you Keishas. You don't have any respect for men.
But this is the action of like, you need to bow down. People are always trying to get me to like apologize for some shit I didn't do wrong because they.
No. In all actuality, no. Women do need to bow down. It's a man talking. And look. See, with men, our power is strength. So when we're holding that power back, that doesn't mean we need to be challenged. If a man asks for respect and he's not disrespecting you, hold on, I'm not a nigga. Keisha should bow down and say, that man has respect for himself. Let me go ahead and show him some respect. I was out of line. Nope. Keisha doesn't want to even bow down to a man that has respect for herself. Keisha wants to continue to disrespect this man.
Because they feel like I'm too haughty. They feel I'm too sure of myself. They feel like I need to be cut down to size.
No, they thought it was wrong.
Nigga, what? Listen, I use the word occasionally. I don't use it that often. You'd actually be surprised.
Okay, you should just use it here.
Even here, like a video, I might not say it for once every like 3 videos. Maybe when we first started, we used to say it more. Nowadays, we barely say it.
Yeah, because, flags.
Not even that. As I got older, I just used the word less. That's honestly what it is. I swear less. I do most of those things less.
Sure.
But when we pass that,
Concur.
even when I use it, there were people who were uncomfortable with them. And if I would not just go to people I don't know that well and be like, hey, nigga, give me that shit. Because they might take it the wrong way. And I would understand why. For you to be told by somebody, yo, don't call me that, for what? And it's fair, too, because they might have a relationship with that word that's really negative. I know some people, when they hear that word, it triggers some shit in them. And that's okay. For you to be told, yo, you need to apologize for that. You'd be like, oh, they're just trying to put me down. They're just trying to make me bow down. No, man. You're on the job. You're using language that's incredibly inappropriate backstage to talk to people who you haven't even established a rapport with to use that word. I might be calling some of my homegirls the B word. Don't mean I'm gonna go to a random girl on the job and just say that shit and think it's supposed to fly, and then if she gets offended, I don't have to apologize. Let's be honest about that word. It is incredibly controversial. We all agree on that. Anyone who says otherwise is lying to themselves. So if you know it, using it at work and then being reprimanded for it should be one of the least surprising things.
But if someone tells me, yo, don't call, I'm not that. First thing I'm gonna do is, well, shit, sorry, my bad. I'm not gonna be like, you trying to put me in these shackles? I'm not.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But let's just keep watching, bro.
The unfortunate part of that is that it's not a reflection of me, it's a reflection of them.
Right.
Because what is it about me that makes you feel small and you want me to get down to your level? Why do you feel small?
Nobody likes her. She's great. She's all these wonderful things. Nobody likes her. But for some odd reason, she's bigger than everybody else. Everybody feels small to her. I mean, I know it's not people walking up to her saying they feel small. Keisha believes that she's bigger than everyone.
What's going on with you? Who made you feel that way? That's not fair to you. Come on, rise up. It's in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what that is. So she brings him into my trailer.
You fake apologize.
Because she there. It felt like, so now we got to shoot the car scene where we're driving in Malibu.
Right.
So we in the car and I'm telling them about what happened and I start crying because I'm a sensitive soul, and because this felt like another instance where I was being like bullied. And Issa left.
You know, because Keisha isn't in her feelings. You know, she's feeling bullied after a man tells her, whoa, I'm not a nigga. That's trying to put you down and belittle you, checking you and reminding you who you talking to while you're on your job, Keisha. I don't care what you thought, but if you're talking to me, I'm not a nigga. And as you can see, looking at that Keisha's face, she really doesn't care. Look at those eyes. Look at this face. Nobody likes her. Never. And it's not her fault. Has nothing to do with her.
In my mother face as I was crying. And said, well, you know you do have a tone.
So even these people not having no sympathy for you, they're like, yeah, you do have a way of talking to people. Issa Rae, the one who runs the show and brought her on, laughed in her face while she was crying.
You know, I remember when I started going to therapy, because I was like, you know, people keep telling me that no one likes me. And I do not understand.
Did you believe it?
Yeah. I remember her asking me, well, what are the reasons why people say they don't like you? That I am too demanding? Whereas, like, for me, it's like, well, no, it's like, it's more so just me holding you accountable.
Because you're like a man. You want to be a man, but you want everyone else to be accountable. I mean, since you've been watching this, has Keisha been accountable one time? Let's just look.
I remember her asking me, well, what are the reasons why people say they don't like you? That I am too demanding? Whereas, like, for me, it's like, well, no, it's like, it's more so just me holding you accountable.
See, Keisha's never accountable. She's always holding someone else accountable. You know, that's like me telling Keisha, you're doing something wrong, or you did something wrong that I don't like. But she says, how? Because first of all, she's all these wonderful things. But then she turns it around and talks about me about something that I need to be accountable for. Like, remember when you did this? But Keisha, that's not what we're talking about. The subject at hand is what you did. Be accountable. Keisha, if you want everybody else to be accountable, you got to take some yourself. And it's not about holding others accountable. You really need to worry about yourself.
They say that I am mean, but in my version of it, it's like, well, no, I'm just being honest.
See? Keisha can't hold herself accountable. You know, that's the problem with a lot of these Keishas. You'll tell them about themselves, you tell them how they need to work on themselves, but in their version, you're wrong. And in their version, you're wrong. Because you can't correct no Keisha. Oh no, Keisha done everything right. Single mother. No father in the kid's life. Every man she's encountered was trying to belittle her. It was always the man's fault. Because Keisha's version is always better than what everyone else's version was about her. Her version was the best. Clearly, everyone just doesn't like her. Everyone is crazy. They just walking around here doesn't. But Keisha's life isn't working the way she wants it to, and she's blaming everyone.
I remember her asking me, well, what are the reasons why people say they don't like you? That I am too demanding? Whereas, like, for me, it's like, well, no, it's more so just me holding you accountable. They say that I am mean, but in my version of it, it's like, well, no, I'm just being honest.
She's insufferable, bro.
Keep watching. We're not even close.
They're just using Jussie as a Come on, y'all. It was no victims. They can't really prove it.
Thank you.
Everything was
Even if it
jumbled
was
up.
a hoax, this is really happening all the time. And even if it was a hoax for the sake of bringing attention to this, then I'm like, that's low-key noble.
And you were in a group called Floetry, right? Is that and you replaced one of the founding members, Natalie?
Yeah, Natalie. Mm-hmm.
And read a lot that you weren't well received. Do you know?
By who?
I mean, if they're turning their back, they're booing. I mean, I guess the people that you're trying to read the poetry to.
Incorrect. Marsha never made it any easier.
Why?
Why?
Yes. Why? Why did?
I think that they wanted me to quit. I had a manager.
Y'all noticing a trend? Okay, there's yet another episode of Everybody Hates Amanda. Okay, and whenever we get to the conclusion part of the episode,
No. This is a lot of the Keishas that think they're smart. This is a lot of them. And then when I think about it, a lot of Keishas influence other Keishas because they tell them they're right. They tell them, I feel you, girl. Because like a Keisha not thinking she's fat and thinking she's together when she's not, another Keisha like her will say, ain't nothing wrong with you, girl. They'll lie to her.
never knows why. No, never knows why. I don't know.
Because it's a lot of Keishas that believe their own versions, and they feel like any woman version of themselves is good. If you feel like you're a 10, you're a 10. If you feel like everybody hates you, everybody hates you. If you feel like you're the greatest and everybody should like you and you don't know why people hate you, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how Keishas think.
Why? I don't know why. All these people just hate me.
I lost the job because I was answering in yes or no questions. Because they were emailing me,
Yeah.
asking me yes or no questions.
Okay.
And my responses were yes.
Yes.
And
No.
and then finally I got an email that said, you know what, we decided to go with somebody else because by your responses, it seems like you're not interested.
Well, you say answer yes or no.
So now you understand me. It took us a little bit, but you're here. So
So they wanted you to say, yes, I would love to have the job because I think this is an amazing opportunity for me, and I just love this company. I think you...
get out there and dance, nigga.
But Amanda...
And black people do it to each other.
I don't know if you guys ever applied for a job. And if someone's asking you work-related questions, and they're sending you questions, and it's email, and you're just responding with yes or no for an employment opportunity, you don't seem interested. Yes, okay, when you're getting a job, I would love to work with you guys. Thank you guys for this opportunity. I'm really excited. They want to hear some enthusiasm, especially for acting gigs. They want to know you really want to do this part because a lot of these jobs aren't guideline specifics in terms of like how you're going to do things. A lot of it is going to be your own enthusiasm, your own hubris to actually get things across the finish line and make it a good product. If someone's trying to get you on an acting gig, you're like, yeah, no, yes, no. Do you honestly think they're gonna hire you? Who here has been to a job interview and just answered yes or no questions the entire time? They expect you to expand. They expect you to say the right things. We all know we have to do it. It's part of the process. But for her,
I answer like that. I answer exactly like that. Yes, no, yes, no. I answer like that to people I closely work with because we got to get shit done. Okay? It's even with people that I closely work with, it could be received as, all right, this motherfucker don't care. But you have to be aware of that.
I think it's worse in a way because it's not clear whether you care or not. So,
It's actually-
and because you're not making it clear, I'm going to assume you don't. When you do, and then you get frustrated because you're like, I do care. But I'm like, you're not relaying it. Like, when you, it's like this, when you write somebody a paragraph or 2 paragraphs, and they go, no, yes. You're just like, are you mad about something? Because text messages, emails, they don't give you context.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just venting what I've been experiencing with you, so I just wanted to get that.
I know. I saw that. We saw that.
So-
We feel for you.
Okay.
Good job.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Have some more shit.
It took some time, but you finally got here. And I'm proud of you.
It took us a little bit, but you're here.
Carry on. It took you a long time.
Oh my God.
8 years. But you got here.
Punch him in the face.
I did that, and I wanted to punch myself. That's how hateable I feel like I sound. It took you some time, but you're finally here.
Ain't that fucked up though?
Oh my
Yo,
God.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why would you respond like that?
But then again,
Holy shit. I'm like, nigga, chill out.
But then again, you know what? Even in the people that you closely work with, like with my manager, it's yes, no, because I got other shit to do and everything and stuff.
Sure.
It can still be received as, from people that actually know you. If you respond like that to people that are trying to work with you, what you're projecting is you don't want to be there. And they are bothering you.
And so then I was at Sirius for a few years.
So this is a radio gig she worked at as a host.
That's actually the only job I got fired from. This is the only job I
How you get fired? How you get fired?
So my boss was this brother who I will not even honor by naming him.
Okay.
Well, the first time we ever met, I went to dap him, and he said, "Keep it corporate."
Whoa.
So that was our very first interaction. I went to, and he said, "Keep it corporate." I said, "Okay." Remember, I'm 21. A week later, he came into my studio, and he said, "So."
See, the Keisha has a problem with authority in the workforce. The last time the brother was talking about he's not a nigga. Don't call me that. Keisha had a problem. She's at another job. She's trying to bring this hood Keisha mentality with the dap. I know a lot of Keishas like this that think they're manly. Keep it corporate, Keisha. Put that hand out. You at work. You have a boss now. Listen up.
When we ever met, I went to dap him, and he said, "Keep it corporate."
Whoa.
So that was our very first interaction. I went to, and he said, "Keep it corporate." I said, "Okay." Remember, I'm 21. A week later, he came into my studio, and he said, "So, I just wanted you to know that I know that you're spoiled, and I'm gonna expose you."
Huh?
People start to feel like they're.
Shannon's reaction is all of her reaction to that story that make no sense. You see, Amanda's telling everything from her perspective, so none of it makes sense. Why people are so evil? No, Amanda's just doing shit that makes people really hate her, and then she's getting these reactions.
To her, she removes them because to her it's just normal.
Yes.
Common sense. So her acting rude, her answering wrong to people and this and that.
Excuse me.
She's taking that because I didn't. It was nothing. To her, it was nothing. So she discards it. So when she retells the story, she doesn't recall all those times where she was fucking rude and she was just being Amanda. I remember when.
No. See, when a Keisha explains her life, the majority of these Keishas, everyone else was the problem. When they explain all the men that they dealt with, when they explain why these men aren't in their life anymore, it's because they were the problem. Keisha's never the problem. But like she said, Keisha's holding everyone else accountable because their version is better than the ones people think of them.
I was a kid. My dad was working from 4 to midnight, right? So I mean that I was with my I was with my mom at night when we do the homework and everything and stuff. And you know, me and my mom, we used to butt heads and everything. And I remember the next day morning, she would recall what happened. But this is how my mom used to tell the story. Means she starts from where I got pissed off. And I'm like, ooh, that's not what happened. You're telling the story from when I started to yell.
Yeah, from the climax.
But from the 15 minutes I told you to stop doing certain things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not in the mood. And then she's nagging. I'm like, yo, get off me, get off me.
They always forget their nagging.
Get off me! Oh. Oh. You're screaming on me? And I'm like, what? I've been talking for the past 15 minutes. And after 21 minutes, I'm like, stop. And you're like, oh, he just screamed at me. I just screamed?
So that's what Amanda's doing.
That's what Amanda's doing.
There you go. Amanda's your mom.
Oh, wow, that's disrespectful.
It is. I'm sorry. I'll take that back.
So this is the dynamic I have experienced in many places. No, I'm in the way. I'm in the way. I'm doing too much. And I'm a girl. I'm a woman. I'm doing too much. Shut the
Okay.
That's what they think. The drummer who we used to clash because we both had these like really big personalities that we hadn't matured into yet, you know? And I had to tell her, like, I just want you to like me. I just want you to feel safe with me here. I just want you to see me as someone who is not trying to step on your toes, because that's what it feels like. And if that's not what it is, so be it. But if that's what it is, I just want you to know that that's not what I'm trying to do. So I had to make myself small so that she could not feel like I was trying to take her place. And she's going around saying that I was in danger of getting fired from Insecure. She starts going around saying that I got in a fight at the party. She starts going around saying that I peed on the floor. You got this earthworm Jim looking nigga, Sarunas, out here talking about, well, no one likes you, so that's why you weren't invited. Now we have to go back to shooting, and nobody's saying nothing to me. Everybody knows, because at this time, it's just the women shooting. Everybody knows what's going on. They don't say nothing to me. And that's just fucking mean.
Look at Keisha's earrings. You know, Keisha still thinks she's popping too. Like a young Keisha, a young bull. Look at that outfit. Look at that hair. Because you know what? Everyone's still hating on her, I bet. And all her decisions and the version of her is the best version in her mind. Because nobody wants to see Keisha get ahead. Which is, for me, as a man, a black man, I mean, who cares if nobody wants to see me get ahead? I mean, I'm not going to be telling a story. Even if it was a bunch of haters, I ain't going to be talking about them. I'm only going to be talking about the people that helped me or that was with me. We're going to talk about the positive. Listen, I could complain all day about where I could be if I didn't have people hating. But I don't care. So what? But not for Keisha. You know, these Keishas, it was always something else with their decision making financially and with their decision making as far as the outcome of their life.
It's mean. They don't say nothing to me. And let me tell you, from the beginning, I've been trying with these ladies because I want to make community everywhere I go. I done invited them to my house. They didn't come. I brought them gifts. They said thanks. I tried to plan a retreat. They said we don't want to go. You know, I created our group.
Listen, you're not going to listen. When people don't like you, it's because of your personality. They don't care that you invited them to your house, or that you invited them to a trip, or you gave them a gift. No one's stupid, Keisha. No one wants to be involved with you. They know that you're scheming. They don't want no parts of it. They know, because she's scheming now. She wants to try to win people over with gifts and trips and try to invite them to her house. Why would they want to do that when you're irritating? Nobody wants to be around you.
For the show, I created game nights for the show.
Nobody participated.
I mean, eventually, but like,
Reluctantly.
but I'm trying to do this, you know, because I think that this is. It's like when I walked in and I was like, I feel like it's my role to make you feel comfortable. Like, I feel like that's my way of getting around this thing, this stigma that people like to put on me that ain't got shit to do with how I really exist.
Okay.
So this is now affecting me professionally. And I didn't do shit.
Right.
So this whole...
She didn't do shit. Yeah, I know a lot of Keishas like that didn't do nothing. This is great. The whole show is everyone else except for Keisha.
Amanda's difficult to work with narrative is fascinating to me. It's fascinating.
Just keep going. Just keep going,
It's
bro.
good. It's good. It's amazing.
It's fascinating, truly.
So, as
Until I got kicked out that Emmys party.
what'd you do to get kicked out the Emmys party? Damn, we can't take you nowhere. What'd you do?
I go to...
You hear, Shannon? You can't take this Keisha nowhere. This Keisha here, no one likes her. No one likes her. Why is that? She got kicked out the Emmy party. Why? Why are you so... She says she was all these great things. Smart. Headstrong. Why would you get kicked out the Emmys, Keisha? The Emmy party, Keisha? Why doesn't anyone like you?
a lot of places because I'm lovable and people like me and I'm delightful. I am delightful.
What did you do?
I arrived. A security guard your size approaches me and says, "Hey, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave." And I said, "Well, why do I need to leave?" And he said, "Because you're being asked to leave." I said, "Well, who's asking me to leave?" He said, "Well, let me go find out." Now he comes back and he says, "Vanessa Anderson is asking you to leave." I said, "Well, you need to find Vanessa and have her come tell me herself."
Is that Issa Rae's publicist?
Yes. I said, "Well, you need to have Vanessa come and find me and tell me herself." So he then leaves again and comes back with 3 other men. And one of the men now is a brother, and he's walking towards me cursing. So he's literally walking towards me saying, "You need to get the out of here." I'm like, "Why do I have to leave?" Because we said so. The first one, who was kind, he had come up right here, but then the other 3 were right here. So I have to realize I've lost this fight. So I pivot to leave, but I pivot really fast because I'm going to still say my mother piece. So when I pivot and I say, I pivot to go, you, I guess they thought I was about to do something. So the white guy steps in between me and the brother and chest bumps me and throws me back.
Right.
So now this is an assault. So
You heard that?
He
She
moved
said she got assaulted.
you, if he moves you, like, I can't assault you like that. That's not considered an assault. This is, you know what I mean? I'm sorry about that, but I'm just, this is. But usually when we go like
I'm
that,
getting in that party, nigga. Don't try me, bro.
You gotta leave.
No. Get Vanessa right now.
gotta leave.
Do you know who I be?
We're not.
Do you know who I be
We don't
with?
care about that.
Okay, your belly though.
Your belly. That's why you got a little patch right there to push motherfucker. You just go.
Yeah, Keisha. See, Keisha still got to say, talk some shit as she leaving. Because, you know, there's some men security telling Keisha to leave, but, you know, Keisha's tough. Because she still got some shit to talking about she's going to say her piece before she turns her back. No, Keisha, why you trying to walk away and talk your shit? Stand there like a man that you want to be and talk your shit to his face. But you got knocked down. Now it's the sort. Because you don't want to bow down. Not even when it's big men. Even men know how to bow down when security come around. Oh, but not Keisha. No way. Keisha still got to talk some shit.
You're not Ross. Bro, yes, the security asked you to leave. The first one, he brought you the other one. Oh my God, they got forced because you wouldn't leave.
You wouldn't leave.
That happened at any nightclub. You're not special.
You gotta leave.
That's it.
If
But
security tells you gotta leave,
the people running the party say you're banned. You're banned. You can't do nothing about it.
Trying to find out who, and they gotta tell me yourself, leave.
Yeah.
The next person's gonna tell you is not gonna be so nice.
And I think it's crazy that the one who's running the show that you're on and your own coworkers all abandoned you and said, yeah, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
That's very telling to me that almost nobody came to your defense publicly. Nobody.
And then, on top of that, Keisha, you know nobody likes you. Why are you there? Why would you come to some place where they don't like you, Keisha? Why are you hanging around people that don't like you, Keisha? Why can't you go somewhere where it's people that like you? I wonder, does Keisha have one story where she was in an environment or where she changed her environment and she found some people that actually like her? Probably not.
Because I know for me, if I'm with my people and something happens, they gonna be publicly saying, yo, that shit's not right. Can anybody say the same for Amanda? I'm just saying, even if your friends are not saying nothing, what does that really say about you?
So I want you to follow the themes in this interview. I want you to follow two themes: misunderstood and not protected. I want you to follow those themes, okay? Because you've noticed it's themes. You follow the theme of racism, but I want you to follow those other themes because they're important. They're important to understanding someone like me. And when you have not been protected and you are misunderstood, what are you going to naturally develop? Defense mechanisms.
For sure. You
Because
hard.
you have to protect yourself.
Yes.
There's no other way.
No.
They will tear you up. They will.
That explains why some people don't like you. But why does nobody like you?
And if you're creating these things also within the context of autism, in the midst of all of this, though, you are brilliant. You have talent. Black Enterprise wrote an entire article that said Amanda Seales complains that she's not invited into black spaces. Mind you, these are all spaces that I have worked in, and the follow-up line was, but the internet. So they anthropomorphized the entire internet. The internet says Amanda needs to change her energy. I do not need to change my energy.
So, no one likes you, Keisha. Nothing's working for you. Your version is the best version. As we're sitting here with this interview, this is Keisha's version. And on the internet, Keisha, they're letting Keisha know she needs to change her energy. I don't know, but if there was any type of sign you need to change, once it starts coming from the internet, I don't know. The internet is kind of it's big as far as information. Like, once it accumulates information about you, I mean, normally I look to the internet for some answers. You mean the internet is telling me that I need to change my energy? That'll be something I would have to look into. But not Keisha. She doesn't need to change anything.
I don't. What needs to change is how we look at energy.
Oh. Oh. That's it. Everyone's looking at Keisha wrong.
Ah, shit. Listen,
I'm not the problem. The world is the problem. Okay. Like I said, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Everything that's happening to Amanda and what will continue to happen to Amanda in the future is all a result of her own actions and her own problems. That's it. That's all I'm really gathering for this. But we're almost there. We get through it. We get through it.
There were a lot of parent-teacher conferences with you, huh?
Yes, but not for what do you think they were about?
Your excessive talking, maybe the doodling.
Excessive talking. Keisha can't shut up, even in school. Interesting.
Funnily enough, no. You know what the parent-teacher conferences were about?
What?
Amanda is sticking up for other kids in the class. Amanda is correcting me. So I was that student. Like, I was the kid who was all...
There we go. Keisha explaining how she's so great and what she did for everybody. But nobody, nope. If any verified resources? Keisha, do you have anything verified? Where is people, do you have any stories where people, a date, an event, a name? Can you name some people that you helped? Shout out to...
was raising my hand and just wasn't easily appeased by simply just someone being an authority.
Have you ever seen the Keisha so great that you said to yourself, you know why everybody hates her? Like, even if you didn't like her, you said to yourself, damn, that Keisha's great. And you looked at everybody that didn't like her and you said to yourself, I'm a change the way I look at Keisha. Because you know what? Her version is the best version of herself. I got it wrong. She doesn't talk too much. Nah. It's everybody else's fault. She's always right. Have you ever just thought about just changing your mind state about Keisha? Like, everybody doesn't like her and you like, man, I don't know why nobody likes her. And you love her. But then why won't Keisha shout you out? She should say shout out to so-and-so. Because then I would think you're her only friend. Because nobody likes her. Never have.
Right.
When she called my mom and said, you know, I'd like to set a conference up because I have some complaints about Amanda. My mom said, well, you know, that's interesting because Amanda has some complaints about you. I recently was diagnosed as someone who has autism spectrum disorder,
Okay.
which is very
This is the most bizarre part of the interview because she starts to say that a lot of the reasons why people don't like her is because of her autism.
Asperger is one of, as part of autism, which you're not supposed to say that anymore, but whatever, I don't care. And what I see here, she is real life Sheldon Cooper, which is a character out of Big Bang Theory that is based on that. And it's just that in Big Bang Theory, he is exaggerated. Funny enough, the exaggeration that they have is very close to that. She is right now the exaggeration that they.
I don't know that character.
That's that.
What's that
Don't
character?
exactly. He's up. That person's always right. It's always the people, and the people need to change the views of the world because their view of the world is real.
Gotcha.
Okay.
which is very difficult to identify in black women because of racism.
So what exactly is autism?
What it simply means is that your brain functions in a different way, so you're neurodivergent, and you also have certain tendencies that are considered outside of what the neurotypical way of things is.
Okay.
And a lot of times that can have you present in a manner that people misrepresent.
Okay. Okay.
Which is the story of my life.
Okay.
And so when all of this started ballooning out of nowhere and people were saying, you're unlikable and you're a bully. No, not you're a bully, but you're being bullied. And these were tropes that have been associated with me before, but I'm in a new level of visibility at this juncture. And you get people saying things like, you are difficult, you are mean, you are nasty, and you know that you're none of these things.
Right.
But they're attributing it to things.
Everybody has this opinion of Keisha, but Keisha knows it's wrong. She knows she's great. She knows she's a likable person. I mean, Keisha's explaining why people don't like her. And she's explaining the whole understanding of why she doesn't get it. It's because you're delusional, Keisha. You see the world for what you think the world or what you believe the world is supposed to think about you. You view the world from your own little glass ball of a brain. And you believe what you think about yourself is the best. And what everybody else thinks about you doesn't matter. But it does. Very much so. Especially if you think you're going to be interacting and trying to make money with these people. You need to check yourself.
That are not actually action-based. Like, I don't cheat people. I don't lie to people. I don't stab people in the back. I don't operate in men.
See, here's the thing, Keisha. You got all these wonderful things about yourself, but nobody likes you. Why don't you need to let somebody else speak about your character. Because the version you're giving is that you're the only person that likes you, and the world doesn't. And normally, we go by world statistics of what the world views. If the world said the grass is green, the grass is green. They say they don't like you, they don't like you. And Keisha, see, the only verification Keisha has is verifying that people don't like her. Oh, she has evidence and stories of that. She can't verify that she's these great things. Nah, she doesn't have a story at all about how great she is. She has all the stories of how people hate her, didn't like her, was against her. But she can't verify or have any stories or dates when she was these great things.
I am not duplicitous. I don't do none of this shit. But I have a certain tone about how I speak. And that makes people feel like, oh, I'm mean, because something about the tone that I speak in doesn't make them feel a certain way.
Because you speak in a mean tone. It's just that you don't see it as mean because you know what your intentions are. But what you meant, like, if I give you an envelope made out of shit and be like, yo, why won't you take it? There's $5,000 in there. I see shit. I see how you brought the message. Why would they see? What would they see the envelope as shit? It's $5,000. It's shit. When it lands in my hand, it's gonna be shit, and it's gonna stink. That's how you convey your messages. Underneath, you know that there's $5,000 in there, but we don't know. We just see how you send the message.
Yep. So she was pretty mad about this portion of the interview, and she talked about it afterwards.
So let me ask you this. How old were you when you got diagnosed And did you always feel that you was different and you felt something was wrong?
I was just recently diagnosed.
Okay. But just because your brain functions differently from, say, mine,
Yes.
so you feel just because your brain functions differently that's what caused it, or there's a clinical diagnosis that
Well, there are clinical diagnoses.
for you?
Yes, there are clinical diagnoses for autism. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
When you take the tests,
I
you
know.
see, when you take the test, you're like,
So he says he knows there's tests, but he's asking, like, have you been clinically diagnosed? And she says, she keeps saying yes. She wrote this on her Instagram, but she goes, Shannon, but have you been clinically diagnosed? Me, quote, yes, there's a clinical diagnosis for autism. He then hung his head and exhaled in frustration because I did not answer his question. This is called deflection. Why? Because I was not going to be pressured by this man who was interrogating me with absolute zero love for me into proving something to him that by his line of questioning he had already committed to undermining.
See? Shannon Sharp was trying to get an understanding of whether or not Keisha was diagnosed personally. But her understanding of him putting his head down wasn't that she is avoiding the question. And it's a little irritating when they avoid the question, because you keep on trying to re-explain it in a way where they can understand that I just want to know, is 1 + 1, what does that equal? Did you get diagnosed personally? Keisha, yes, there is a clinical diagnosis for autism. Now Shannon's interrogating her. Now Shannon's against her with absolutely zero love for her. He's undermining Keisha.
He's asking questions because he's trying to figure out whether or not you've actually seen a doctor for this. That's what he's trying to do.
Because he's running an interview.
And you are sitting there like, oh my God, he's trying to undermine. Well, I think the difference between someone being clinically diagnosed and someone claiming they have bipolar disorder is really important, because there's a lot of people out here who love to claim that they have something they don't. So I think his question was fair. But
Very fair.
They cut out at the end, he was asking, no, I have not been clinically diagnosed by a doctor because I'm not paying $10,000 to do that. And most people will tell you.
See? See? That's why people don't like you, Keisha. You're a liar. You sat up there and you played the blame game. And you sat up there and you blame autism. You lied. Terrible. Just terrible. And then said Shannon was undermining her. No, she was undermining Shannon the whole interview. Terrible.
At this age, you don't need a clinical diagnosis in that sense.
you don't need a clinical diagnosis. Oh my God. And this girl don't know why she hateable?
Bro, are you for real?
She just claiming she got something,
bro,
provided zero proof for it, and she's using that to justify her bad behavior.
Bro,
It's crazy.
All this rah-rah. Oh, he was trying to undermine me, and she actually didn't fucking get... Is that what I understand?
He wasn't undermining her. She undermined herself.
I understand
by
that.
lying about the fact that she was clinically
But
diagnosed.
at the end of the day, she was not even diagnosed.
No,
So the question was valid.
she was self-diagnosing, which is the equivalent of saying, "Oh yeah, I have cancer." Why? Because I know. Okay.
Father had lived with me, I would never have been the person I am now, because he wouldn't have been able to handle it. You know, for all intents and purposes, and I just want to also just bring this to light for you, because this is going to be a theme throughout this interview.
Okay.
I am a scholar of race.
Okay.
I'm not just someone who experiences it.
Right.
I'm a scholar, I'm an academic of race. So I see the world through a particular lens because I am skilled at.
Do you hear this? Keisha has her own lens. You know, America's and world archaeological historical events are based on things that actually happened, times and dates. And normally, statistically, over a period of time, we view the world from statistics or the world or for what the world actually has accumulated the understanding of. You know, like I live in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. It's a way that came about statistically of how they geographically put this here. I I'm not viewing the world through my own lens and saying, well, I believe it went like this.
Doing so, and because I'm an expert at doing so. Like, my master's isn't just in African American studies, it's the fact that I was taught by some of the greatest thought leaders of our time. So when you hear me say these things, I would just like to ask,
I don't understand what Keisha's talking about. She was taught by the greatest thought leaders, the thought leaders of our time. Keisha's making stuff up as she goes. We live in a statistically based world where our information is based on authors, dates and times, his ancient historical scrolls. I mean, you have to be delusional to view the world from just your understanding and what everybody else is talking about. It's just something else, especially when it's about you.
that because you have someone who is an expert sitting in front of you, to just consider versus
I just don't understand how you're delusional, Keisha. Because Keisha's an expert. When you have an expert sitting in front, look, Michael Jordan doesn't say when you have a champion sitting in front of you. Michael Jordan doesn't say when you have the best sitting in front. Like, even the best don't say this. Even an expert wouldn't say this. Elon Musk would say when you have a billionaire sitting in front of you. Like, he's not going to say when you have a smart genius sitting in front of you. That's how you know when Akeisha's delusional. When they give themselves all these accolades, all these achievements, when they're claiming to be all these great things, and there's no verification. How are you any of these, Keisha? Who said it and how is it verified?
be combative, because there may be an opportunity here to see something differently because you have someone with you who is not just experiencing race but is also examining, and there's a different intellectualism about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Different intellectualism about that. And I say that also because that's why I went and got my master's.
Okay.
I went and got my master's because I know that we live in a world that loves to try and find ways to undermine black people's minds.
I'll also ask that because if I don't see things exactly as you see them,
I don't expect you to.
I just want to know who goes and gets their master's because they thought about, or anything in college because they said they're knowing that people are trying to undermine people. She got her master's because she said she knows in the world that there's people that's trying to undermine people. And she was taught by the great thought leaders of this world. My question is she delusional?
don't take it as being combative. You see things one way, I might see it a different way. That doesn't mean I'm being combative.
I would say it's combative when there's a undermining of how someone sees something.
But what?
Well, Keisha, goddamn. Maybe your mind is under a rock, Keisha. Yeah, your mind is under a rock. Because it can't be everybody's trying to just undermine you. Because they have a different opinion? Look at her. Shannon just told you. Just because you think one way and view something one way and I don't agree, that doesn't mean nobody's undermining you. That's not combating you. I don't agree. Get over it.
Are you trying to undermine how I see it?
Because it's my experience.
Okay, well, I'm telling you,
You don't know my experience.
But I'm saying, see, you take it as if I don't agree with you, I'm being combative.
No, I don't. I take it as if I have an experience and you're telling me that my experience isn't what it is.
No,
You're telling me that my thinking somebody is racist who I was in a classroom with for a year that you have never met. You are admitting doubt upon that because of your own experiences.
No, I was talking about the teacher and you.
So here we go. Here we go. This how men are. Shannon's. Shannon finally started talking and trying to communicate with this Keisha. And, when Shannon agrees with her, she gets happy. But look, once Shannon starts talking, Keisha doesn't agree with him at all. She just wants Shannon to keep agreeing with her. And Shannon's trying to speak logically and break it down for her, just like the majority of the husbands and men try to do for their wives and these Keishas out here. And let's just see what happens. Let's rewind it, because Shannon's trying his best. Let's see.
Combative. You see things one way, I might see it a different way. That doesn't mean I'm being combative.
I would say it's combative when there's a undermining of
she's just going to keep going against you.
But why are you trying to undermine how I see it?
Because it's my experience.
Okay, well, I'm telling you,
you don't know my experience.
But I'm saying, see, you take it as if I don't agree with you, I'm being combative.
No, I don't. I take it as if I have an experience and you're telling me that my experience isn't what it is.
No,
You're telling me that my thinking somebody is racist who I was in a classroom with for a year that you have never met. You are admitting doubt upon that because of your own experiences.
No, I was talking about the teacher and you.
Right.
And I said I believe based on my experience and a lot of people is that kids correct an adult, no matter what society it is frowned upon. That's what I was saying. Okay. You took it as that I'm trying to minimize your experience and say, well, I'm defending her when I wasn't.
Okay. I think there's something worth saying that.
See, greatest explanation by Shannon. He's just letting Keisha know that the worldview, and I'm pretty sure she experienced this as a grown woman with kids now. Kids shouldn't be correcting grown people, period, when they're the ones that haven't even corrected their lives. See, he's just saying in his world, his experience, people don't like that, Keisha. They don't like little kids correcting grown people. That's all he's saying. He's not saying you're wrong. He's not saying he's right. He's just explaining to you what, from his experience, people don't like that. He never said nothing about your experience. It's his, Keisha. Can anyone have another experience except for you? Can anyone else have an experience about life, Keisha? Does it all have to be about you?
Could come off that way, and it should be something to consider.
But everything you say and you've been complaining about and people have been complaining about you is that you come off, and when you say shit, you come off the wrong way. But when they do it, it's not good. When you do it, it's fine.
Listen, this lady, she's been kicked off the reel because she was too difficult. She ended up leaving after a very short stint there. There's been plenty of other jobs where they didn't like having her. She's had a lot of bad interviews with people where she comes off and she's very combative. Why would you ask me that question? Even though she claims she's an open book, she gets mad. DJ Envy's a good example. She's just a professional victim.
No, I'm an open book. I'm an open book. When I say that,
that's a stupid question. Don't. Why would you ask me such a dumbass question? Next question. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and people are sharing this with me, and they're like, man, don't you feel bad? Listen, this is what I think.
Bad for her at all.
You know, I think a lot of black women are defending her because, rightfully so, they've seen that there's been a lot of black women who've not been paid what they're due for a lot of gigs in Hollywood or haven't been treated right. And so I think black women get very defensive about other black women in entertainment. And I can understand that. But this is not a black woman versus the world kind of situation. This is a difficult person versus the world situation. She's got other black women who can't stand working with her, who are showing her little to no solidarity. She has other people in her own industry who refuse to be around her. Half the story she was telling about was black women who didn't want to work with her and didn't want anything to do with her. So you have to take in consideration that you as a viewer may be missing out on why is it that her co-workers, who are other black women and suffering the same issues, want nothing to do with her specifically.
As a black woman, and Keisha, you can't tell me how great you are and then turn around and tell me stories or experiences about how in your life no one liked you. But then you're telling me you're great, smart, but none of the men acted right that you were with. They were all wrong. None of the women liked you. None of the men liked you at work. All your relationships, it was the men's fault. It was the men's fault. You can't say you're great, but all your experiences with life and individuals, they didn't like you. You can't say you're great, because if you're great, Keisha, you'll have better stories to tell. You'll have better experiences of how people liked you if you were that great. But you're not that great. Actually, you're not great at all. Because people will validate that. You will have experienced a story and would bring it up. Will bring up why would I waste your time about people not liking me? That's the waste. That's the waste of your time. Why would I waste your time telling you about the stories and about my experiences of people that don't like me, but then I sit up in your face and tell you that, but I'm great. I'm all of this. I'm a professional. I'm an open book. But when you question me, I feel like you're undermining me.
I'm just saying, I can understand wanting to do it. Just be careful, because you might be defending bad apples, okay? You might be defending the type of person who goes in and disrupts spaces and disrupt opportunities for other black women. I just don't know how you can go through life and have this many conflicts from young age all the way this point, and the problem is still the world. It's not you. If it was anybody else, folks would look at that person and be like, what's the common denominator? And they would move on.
You know what? And I gotta say this, it's sad, but there's a lot of young men's mamas too. And you wonder why you and your mom argue, because as you get older, young man, you start to learn logic. You start to learn about explaining yourself and not being in your feelings and actually making sense out of something, of what actually happened, and not blaming the world for your shortcomings. You know that you just gotta do better. You're not blaming the world for you're not getting any money. You know you gotta do better. You're not blaming the world for you're not getting any pussy. You just got to do better.
lady, every time she shows up, every time she's on a podcast and I end up seeing it, she's complaining about some issue. She's complaining about some drama with somebody else. At some point, you just gotta sit back and be like, bro, you're just difficult. There's no way around it. People meeting you for one day and they already hate your guts. I could see why. I listened to you for one podcast and I hope I never have to listen to your shit again. I'm just saying. And I also think like her whole activism angle, to me, honestly, I think it's just a shield. Because once you position yourself as these kinds of leaders, you become a little bit more infallible. You become a person who develops a fan base that's fervently with you. Why? Because the fan base is tied to the very same social issues that you're tied to. So they will defend you because they feel like if they don't defend you, it's harming the social issues. That's why sometimes when I see these activist types, be it the Sean Kings or these people, or even a lot of the BLM people who ran those organizations, you realize that behind closed doors, these are just bad people. They're thieves, they're con artists, they're people masquerading as black people who aren't really black, or they're this kind of person who's incredibly difficult and always has interpersonal issues with anybody she meets face to face. But at the same time, in public, she wants to be like, freedom fire, I'm for the people. Were you for the people when you accused a black man of doing something inappropriately, even though you had zero proof of it, and ended up having to retract a lot of that afterwards? Like, I just can't rock with somebody like that.
I think if we look at like the 100% of that, there's probably about 5% of those situations where like, yeah, I owe you an apology.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Fine. Yeah, I owe you money. Yeah. That's how it felt like.
I've lived long enough that if I was to sit on a podcast and talk about all my relationship issues with the people I've had in the past, I could find 100 different things that I did wrong, and I'd have no reasonable explanations for why I was doing it, or like justifications. It's just like, I fucked up.
But you still put it on you.
But I put it on me. Did she do that once?
No, not never.
Yeah, that's it. Accountability. It's easy. I done fucked up plenty of times. I mean, that's how I get smarter. You know, life is like you're the blind leading the blind, which is you're on a dark road, you can't see, and you don't know where to go. The blind leading the blind. So, you make a mistake. You go 100 feet, you make a mistake. You recant the knowledge of your mistake. I fucked up, bet. I know what to do next time. I fucked up twice. I know what to do after that. Look, no matter how many times the fuck up is, you get better. But at least you know you fucked up. Because if you don't know you fucked up, how would you get better? What if in all actuality, you was fucking something up, but you thought you did it right? In your mind, in your view, through your lens, your version of the fuck up was actually, no, you did it right. Let's keep going.
Like, if you really look back to a lot of your issues with most of your relationships, can you honestly say you don't know why they didn't like you?
Nope.
I'm asking you, the viewer. Can you really say that? People didn't like you, you never knew why. Every single time. Is that possible for you?
Even when I self-reflect about things that happened in the past, in my high school or my working days in the corporate world, I look back at it and I can understand why certain things happened the way it happened.
Yeah.
At the time, I maybe not. But with the bigger picture, with a little bit of hindsight, with a little bit of maturity, I could be like, yeah, nah, I see it.
It's like listening to me if I took zero accountability. That's what it felt like. Because I had a teacher who hated me too. But it was because I was a smartass. And I had no business being that disrespectful. So the teacher just lost it on me. And I told you this story, didn't I? The story about the teacher who just picked me up when I was in the 5th grade and slammed me against the wall at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And I told you, I'm like, if I look back, I'm like, yeah, I kind of deserved it. Like, I was horrible in that class. I got a lot better throughout high school and everything afterwards. But that class, I was a piece of shit. You know, when the teacher's just trying to get everybody organized, get a single file line, and I'm just over here like, you know, and he's saying it 5 times, he said my name,
And you heard him.
Yeah, I heard him, I didn't care. I was a piece of shit, I was. But this girl, none of that. He just slammed me against the wall and he assaulted me.
Why? Why?
I don't know. Sometimes preach, get sick of my shit. And I honestly think it's because he can't handle how much of a big person I am and how much aggressive I can be. So I have to make myself smaller, figuratively and literally, just so that he can come back, take her space. I'll make myself smaller for you, King. I'll make myself smaller for you, King. And I can do that because I don't have an ego. I can make myself smaller. And it's okay.
You know what he's doing? That's what a lot of Keisha does. A lot of Keishas do to their men in relationships. You know, instead of taking accountability, they'll say they need to bow down to you. Okay, I'll bow down to you just to make you feel bigger. Like, when we want to correct Keisha or our wives or our women, they think it's to make us feel bigger. Well, no. We just need you to correct yourself. You're out of line. But instead, Keisha want to try to reverse your psychological masculinity of being the leader. Keisha wants to make you get soft on her and make you think like you're putting her down, which you're not. And when Keisha does that, you need to check her and say, stop, straighten up, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't tell you're not putting me anywhere, and I'm not putting you down. This is a correction, Keisha. Correct yourself.
I don't know what happened to you when you were a child.
Dance, nigga.
I know a few therapists, and we can figure some things out because it's in you. You're a king, and you need to get in touch with that inner side. Because
you got it. Rise up.
Rise up. Rise up. That's it. Like, I don't know who did something to you.
That's just...
Who hurt you?
That's just...
But it's okay. It's okay, King.
Fuck about face.
As a queen, it's my job to support the kings. We lift each other up. Wakanda forever, you know?
Because, you know, I bring people together.
I'm all about fostering communities. Do you guys hear what that was like? And how unreasonable I sound? For all you motherfuckers who tell me to watch this shit, do you guys not understand how hard this was? You better leave a like and a comment right now. This was disgusting, and I suffered mentally. I'm probably going to take a break for a few days, okay? So make sure you leave a like and a comment.
See what you did? You played yourself.